y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah, and tonight I'm going to be doing my meatloaf recipe for y'all, and we're going to be having green beans and homemade mashed potatoes with it. And then afterwards I'm going to be cleaning up the kitchen and loading dishwasher and all that. So just be cooking clean with me. Hope y'all enjoy this video. Thank you. Alright y'all, this is everything you need for your meatloaf besides the eggs, because I still have that in the fridge. But I use a 3-pound roll of hamburger because we'll have leftovers, and I'll take it for work for lunch. And then a packet of meatloaf seasoning and barbecue sauce. You can use any kind of barbecue sauce, but I just picked this one. And then traditional breadcrumbs. And then I just follow this recipe on the back to make my meatloaf. So the first thing I'm doing here is preheat my oven 350 degrees. So the first thing I'm doing now is opening my hamburger and putting it in my mixing bowl. And then I'm going to wash my hands and put in my other ingredients. The first thing I'm going to put in is my meatloaf seasoning and then my egg. So I'm getting my measuring cups out that I'm going to be using. And then you need a cup of breadcrumbs. And then a half a cup of barbecue sauce. But because you're supposed to split the barbecue sauce in half, but I ended up using a cup. But I made it work. So here I'm just getting my barbecue sauce. I'm going to pour it in after I checked my recipe. Because this is when I realized I was supposed to use half a cup. But I ended up using a cup. And now I'm just getting a spoon and I'm going to mix it all together. But have y'all ever had any meatloaf experiences? Because I've had a couple. I think the first time I made meatloaf by myself, I burnt it. And then another time I wanted to put cheese in it. And so I had some block cheese and I put it in. I didn't melt it because I thought it was spread and melt, but it didn't. So my boyfriend said it looked like a jelly-filled meatloaf because it was just in the middle. Because you know how donuts are, like jelly-filled donuts are. So yeah, I've had quite a few cooking experiences, but I figure I'll share a couple with you all. But here I'm just mixing my meatloaf together. And then I'm going to put it in my baking dish. I use canola cooking spray. And so I'm just going to spray that. And then I'm going to take my hand to kind of start shaping it into the loaf that I want before I put it in my baking dish to make sure everything is stick together really well. So here I'm just mixing it up with my hand, trying to stick it together a little bit before I pick it up and put it in my baking dish to start shaping it up into the loaf. And so now I have it in my baking dish. So I'm going to start forming it into the loaf that I want. And then I'm going to wash my hands and put the rest of my barbecue sauce on there and spread it around before I put it in the oven. But while I was doing this, my boyfriend was peeling the potatoes for me to help me out a little bit. So I'm just putting the rest of the bottle of the barbecue sauce on, and then I'm going to take a spoon and spread it around, spread it out a little better. And then this is what it looks like before I put it in the oven. And while my boyfriend was finishing up peeling up the potatoes, I was cleaning up a little bit before I put it in the oven. And then once you have it in the oven, you're going to set your timer for an hour. And so while this was starting to cook, after I set my timer, I'm going to load the dishwasher so it'll be good to go and empty for me to clean up after supper. But on this night, a transformer blew when I was in the middle of cooking. Like, I just put the potatoes on, and then the green beans were almost done, and the meatloaf was almost done. But we ended up having to throw everything away because the power was out forever. So we just stayed out this night. So when I make this again, I'll show y'all after everything's been cooked and everything. And then when I clean up the kitchen. And now I'm just putting on my green beans, and I was struggling to get it out of the can. And then one of my green beans went flying, and one had a stem on it, so I just threw that one away. But the seasoning I use is something my boyfriend put together. He uses it on a lot of things. I use about 3 teaspoons of it. And now I'm just cutting up my potatoes, but I was struggling, so my boyfriend came in and cut them up for me. And I ended up using a different pan because I have one of them red copper pans that have the hose on the side to strain water out of, so I just use that instead. But here are the green beans, and then the potatoes I just put on, and the meatloaf before the power went out. And then this is the second time I made it, and this is after everything was done cooking before I started cleaning up. Everything was really good, and now I'm just cleaning up or picking up supper, making my lunch, and putting leftovers away for my boyfriend to eat the next day. And now I'm just going to load the dishwasher. And on days I'm off is when I mainly cook a big meal because I work 12-hour shifts. So on days I work, I just make something easy or my boyfriend cooks. Now I'm just filling the sink up with some water and dish soap, and I'm going to wash the stuff that doesn't fit or I put in the dishwasher real quick. I'm just showing y'all what everything looks like before I clean everything. I'm going to be cleaning my stovetop with my cleaner, and then I'm just showing y'all my counters, and then I'm also going to be wiping off my fridge and my dishwasher with my stainless steel wipes. And here I'm just taking my glass top cleaner, and then I have this little cleaning kit that I use. It comes with a sponge and a razor blade, and I'm just going to spread it around before I take my razor blade to scrape off the burnt food and spills and everything. I do this about once a week, mainly on Sundays. And then now I cleaned my sponge that I used. Now I'm going to remove everything from the sink and spray it down. And then wipe off over there because we took recycling out tonight, because that's where we put it. And then I'm going to be wiping everything else down before I do my fridge and my dishwasher with my stainless steel wipes. And here's the wipes I like to use to clean my fridge and dishwasher off with. The rag I normally use was dirty, so I just used a paper towel to get the streaks off and buff it out after I wipe it off with my stainless steel wipes. And I like to do this once a week. everything's been wiped down and cleaned. But I hope y'all enjoy this cook and clean with me and my meatloaf recipe, because I know you can make meatloaf many different ways. But I just figure I share mine with y'all, and I'll have everything in the description box down below, and the seasonings that I used in my green beans also. And if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.